Okay, so we're now going to have a look at the profile section. So this is a dummy profile that I've just set up myself. So the first change is the name. That can be slightly bigger to match Wikipedia. So if you look at David Beckham's name, it's bigger, it's much bigger. So the size of the name needs to be the same as Wikipedia. The second change is, as Wikipedia has here, from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, I also would like something under here, just on each profile that says from, if I'll write it for you. So it should say, from Mypedia, discover the people around you. And it should be like that, so it should be capital M, capital A, and then all this in lowercase. So this should be displayed just under here, just under the line, just like that, and it should be the same size as the Wikipedia one, so smaller than the regular text. Okay, the next change is the edit button. So over here we have the edit button. This looks like you can only edit just this section. So can we move the edit button here more centrally, kind of like with on this side of the profile, and it should say edit profile. So edit profile, not just edit, but edit profile. And if we have it either here or here, in fact it might be better. Yeah, next to the name. So obviously only the user will be able to see this for their own profile. But if we have that button next to the name here, and it says edit profile, and then clicking on the button should just take you to this link as usual. Yeah, no change there, but just the placement of the button should be here, and it should say edit profile. Okay, the next one is the contents box. This contents box is excellent. When I click on that, it takes me right down there, and it's exactly what I wanted. Perfect. The only change is it should be labeled content. So if you see on Wikipedia, it's got the title there, contents. We should also have that on Mypedia. That's number one. The other thing about the contents box, so as well as the title, it should also be like this, so you can hide and show it. Just like on Wikipedia, we should have that. So we should be able to click it, exactly the same as this, and it should hide and show. And when it hides, the writing should automatically come up, instead of just staying down here. Okay. The writing should start, so this is the main text, it should start immediately after the bottom of the contents box. So on this profile, the contents box is quite big, so it looks like it does start after the contents box. But if I look at a different profile, so this is another one of my dummy profiles, you can see there's this big gap between the contents box and the writing start. There shouldn't be a gap. So if we look on Wikipedia, you can see Yuvraj Singh's got a big box on the side here, but he's got the contents box there, and straight after the contents box the writing starts, and then it goes down, and then it starts spelling out here. So we should have the same. So on that profile here, the writing should go across here, across here, across here, across here, and then once we get below this box, then it can go all the way across. Okay, so it should start immediately after the contents box. Okay, then so now the next part is this section here. So I put in a date of birth as the 1st of November, and you can see it's coming up as TH, so it's saying what, which obviously isn't right. So I think on the website, any number that's put in here, it just adds a TH after it. So that shouldn't be right. We should have first, or second, or third, and then fourth, fifth, sixth. And even once we get to 20th, it should be 21st, then 22nd, so 23rd. So that needs correcting there. And then also, this shouldn't be in blue text. So at the moment you can see it's in blue colour. It should be in black text. So that's another change there. And then also there should be a gap between, after the 1st of November, there should be a gap before the end. There should be a gap after the comma, and there should be a gap after the year. Because at the moment, like here, there's great gaps. There's a gap there, there's a gap between my first name and second name. But on this line, for some reason, there's just no gaps. I don't know if that's for the search function or if it's for anything else, but if possible, we need some gaps in between there, just like on these lines, to make it look more professional. Okay, coming to the actual profile, so you can see the way I can see the way you split it out here. These indents are excellent, perfect, and they're really good, because once I add an education, it goes 1.1, 1.2. It's beautiful, it's great. I really, really like that. The only thing is, early life should be first. So early life on here should always be first, right? Instead of education or career, then early life. It doesn't make sense. So early life should be first, but we'll talk more about this when I go into editing, and I talk you through some changes there. We'll talk more about having the early life first. But I'm just making you aware that early life on the profile itself should be displayed as the first thing. Right. Moving on to the text, there should be a space between education. There should be a space here. So underneath the line, there should be a space before the main body of text starts. So right along David Beckham, I can get it to a space out. Sorry. Sorry about that. You can see here, there's a space there, then there's another space, then there's another space, and we need the same kind of thing. So there should be a space here after the title. And then also, the title here, we should only have one title in bold. So if you look on David Beckham, he's got that, and he's got the title here in bold. We should also only have one line. And the line I want to show, I want to remove high school, so that shouldn't be in there. And again, I'll talk more about this once I go on editing, and I'll tell you exactly what to keep for each function. But there should be no high school. There should be no area of study, because people themselves will say, I studied, finance or whatever, I studied French. People themselves will say that in the text. But there should only be one line, and it should be this line. It should be the year, the years, and then the name of the school, or the name of the university, or the name of the college, or anything like that. So that is the only line that should appear, and it should be in bold, right? So there should be education as a title, then a space, then so the high school should be gone, it should be a space there. Then this line in bold, then a space, and then the main text. So you have education, you have space, you have the name of the school or the university in bold, and the years here. It's set out nice like that. And then a space, and then the main body of text. Also, there should be a space after the colon here. So just before the S in Sandringham, there should be a space. So it just looks more professional, and this is the way that people in the UK are used to seeing things. So 1990 and 2006, after colon space, and then Sandringham School. Okay. I'm just having a look at my notes to see what's next. After the colon. So yeah, I mentioned there's no need for area of study option or degrees. I think there's there's no need for that area of study, and there's no need for that high school. I'm not sure, you might have that because of our search function. So if you need that field for the search function, so people can search by school and university, then I understand why you have that. I still want it removed, and on the search function you can have one line saying school/university, kind of like that. School, university on the search function, and then people will type in the name, so someone will type in Sandringham, and it should still pick up this line here, which is the one line that I'm keeping. So we should still pick up the line that I want in here. So I don't think it should affect the search function. So we can take that out, we can take an area of study out. Okay. And also this should be in bold and there should be a space here after the colon. Okay. So as mentioned here, I've talked about the spaces. Okay, also the education and the career in fact should both automatically, I'll talk about the education first, but it should be automatically sorted in date order. So you can see I entered 1999 to 2006, and then I put 92 to 99, and it's put it in the way, the order in which I entered it. But it should be ordered in date order. So 92 should obviously come before 99, because otherwise that doesn't make sense. And on Wikipedia, it's all in date order. It doesn't skip dates, or it doesn't go from new to old or anything like that. It should all flow and make proper sense. So 92 should come first, then 99. So this section should be ordered in date order. Okay. Moving on to career now. Again, the same kind of things for the spaces. So there should be a space after the line here, underneath the line, right? And also another space, and also here on the year, it shouldn't ask for the month. So it should just be the year, just like on education, it just asks for the year, 2012 to 2014. It shouldn't be May or July or anything like that. Education. So I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, also, it should also only display one line. So like I wanted up here, just one line to be displayed. On career, it should also just show one line. And the one line should be the year, and then colon, and then space, and then the company name. So for this segment, it will be 2012 to 2014, colon, space, and then Fujitsu. Just the company name. So it'll be like 2012, 2014, Fujitsu. And this should be in bold. So that's the only line it should show. It shouldn't show any months, and it shouldn't show the job title either. We don't need the job title for a search function, because here you have your occupation. So when search function picking up the occupation, it should pick it up from here. There's no need to pick it up from this text. We don't need the occupation. People will say that. Mypedia has some words to do as a management accountant, so people will say that themselves. We don't need an extra field. So it should be career, then it should be a gap, then it should say 2012, on this line it should say 2012 to 2014, colon, space, Fujitsu, so like that, and that should be in bold, and then there should be another space, and then there should be the text, the main body of the text. So that's how it should be displayed. So similar to the education, year, and then the name of the school. Here it should be year, and then the name of the company. Okay, there should also be another gap after the text. Once you start a new career, so a different career option, there should also be another gap after the text. So you can see my text here, and it goes straight onto Mypedia. There should be a gap in between the text and Mypedia, like we have here on education. There's a gap, and here there's a gap. So on career, there should also be a gap after the text before the next career option. And as mentioned before, my next note is that there should be a gap after the career title and the first career as well. So I mentioned that before. I see what the next note is. So also there should be a gap, like I said here, there should be a gap after here. Then there should be 2012 to 2014 Fujitsu, so it should have a year in the company, and then another gap. So yeah, that's the gap orders. really, and then there should be another gap for the next occupation. Sorry, I know if I'm repeating myself, then I'm sorry. It's just my notes. I'm trying to follow my notes, and some of them are a bit repetitive, so I'm saying things over and over again. I'm sorry. Okay, so once we change these things, so like I mentioned, we should have a year here and the name of the school or the name of the university, and a year here and the name of the company. On the contents box, it should stay the way it is here. There shouldn't be any years on the contents box. This is perfect. So even though we have years in the body of the text here, in the contents box, it should just be the name, just like you have it now. Don't change that. That's excellent. Okay, so you can just have the name of the school or the university, and then the name of the company. Okay. Okay, I think the last two changes on this page is the gaps between the titles and the lines underneath the title. So you can see the title here and the line underneath should be the same as Wikipedia. So if you look at that gap, that's quite a big gap there. Whereas on Wikipedia, it's like that. There's not much of a gap at all. Just underneath the Y, there's automatically a line. So we need the same. Underneath the line, Y should automatically be a line. So the gap here needs closing. Just to make it look exactly the same as Wikipedia, just the gap between the lines and the titles needs closing in a little bit. Maybe on career and education, I think that's a bit too close. So perhaps this needs extending a little bit, a bit widening, because if I look at the line between, it's probably just a little bit too close there. I mean, obviously you can't get it perfect, and I appreciate that, but just try and copy Wikipedia as close as possible. So just a bit more of a gap in between the title and the line there, and a lot less of a gap between the title and the line there, so it's consistent with Wikipedia. Okay, and then the final change is the same thing, but also for the full name. So this is quite a big gap here. On Wikipedia, there's a smaller gap. So just try and copy Wikipedia in every single way, so there should be a smaller gap here. Okay, that is the end of this video. I think the next video I will do will be talking about editing a profile. But